When my co-writer Adnan Khan and I were writing the movie, at some point during like the end of the first draft, we realized that we'd written like a weird Toronto Brown version of Good Will Hunting. Not exactly that, but of course there's no genius at the center of the movie. But Good Will Hunting is really about a character who's from a specific part of Boston and how he's kind of colliding with and interacting with another part of the city, in that case, Harvard. And we realized there's so many parallels between Shook and that movie. Our protagonist, Ashish, is from Scarborough, which is obviously part of the city of Toronto. But to be honest, if you grow up there and you're trying to make it as an artist from there, the city might as well be a million miles away, right? That distance, even though it's geographically close, can feel really vast when you're growing up in the end. So that felt really similar to, what Matt Damon's character is going through in Good Will Hunting, but also, he meets a girl that's moving away and is kind of that bittersweetness of that relationship. So there were a lot of interesting parallels with that movie, even though the films are very, very different. But what we really loved was the way that film celebrated Boston, and we felt like we wanted to do something similar with Toronto. Shook is very Toronto specific, but I don't think that was necessarily like a calculated choice. It just felt naturally like what we wanted to write when we were writing the script. It felt honest, it felt real, it felt like something that many of us experience but don't really ever get to see on screen about ourselves. This is a city that often plays other cities in movies. And even when we do get specifically Toronto films, particularly Toronto films by people of color who are maybe from the suburbs, they're not often about the little things we experience in the city or parts of growing up. They're often about these really heavy sort of like traumatic stories about diaspora or immigration. And those are great too, but I felt like it was time that we shared an experience that was really kind of specific but universal. And the little things that make this city so special, like the buses, the TTC, or the way we kind of all collide with each other downtown and then head back out towards our homes, it just felt natural. It wasn't like a calculated thing. But now I'm really glad that we did it because it seems to really be resonating with people. And I don't know that it would have done that if we would have dialed it back to kind of make it more diffuse for a general audience, if that makes sense.